You have been here before. You read something that changed how you think. You felt the shift. You made a plan. You started strong. And then somewhere between day 8 and day 14, real life arrived. A late meeting, a bad week. One missed day that quietly became 3, then a week, then a month of telling yourself you would restart soon. And now you are here again, wondering why this keeps happening despite the fact that you clearly understand what needs to change. Understanding why habits fail in theory and knowing what to do when your system is actively breaking down in real time are two completely different things. And the gap between those two things is exactly where most people get stuck and stay stuck. There are 3 specific moments where almost every habit attempt collapses. If you cannot recognize them as they are happening, they will take you out every time. The first collapse point is what Clear calls missing twice. Missing once is an accident that means nothing. Missing twice is the beginning of a new bad habit. This sounds obvious, but the psychological reality is brutal. When you miss a day, your brain immediately starts running a story. It says you are the kind of person who cannot follow through. And that story, left unchallenged even for a few days, does significantly more damage to your habit than the missed session ever could have on its own. The rule is never miss twice. Not because one missed day matters that much in terms of practical outcome, but because the story you build around the miss determines whether you are constructing an identity or quietly dismantling it one vote at a time. One missed vote does not lose an election. Letting the narrative spiral unchecked across days and weeks does. The second collapse point is the failure to build immediate satisfaction into the habit itself. Human beings are wired for immediate reward. Our brains evolved in environments where the future was uncertain and the present was what mattered for survival. Which means if a habit only pays off weeks or months from now, your brain will not consistently choose it over something that feels genuinely good right now. This is the actual reason the gym empties every February without fail. The reward, the visible transformation, is too far in the future for the brain to reliably prioritize it over present comfort day after day. Clear calls this adding immediate reinforcement. Attach a small, real, immediate reward to the habit at the moment of completion, not a future promise. Something your brain can directly associate with the act of showing up today. Because the brain learns through proximity of reward to behavior. The further the reward, the weaker the signal across repetitions. The third and deepest collapse point is building habits entirely around outcomes rather than identity. When your habit is attached to an outcome, every day without visible, measurable progress feels like evidence the whole thing is not working. And humans are extraordinarily poor at perceiving gradual change as it is actually happening. The body does not look different after 1 week of training. The writing does not read better after 10 sessions. The revenue does not shift after a month of new habits. And so the brain, registering no visible reward, quietly argues that stopping is the rational decision. Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. Results are not linear. They are exponential and delayed. You do almost all of the real work before you see almost any of the real results. The people who break through are not more talented or more disciplined. They have built a reason to keep showing up that does not depend on visible results arriving on schedule. That reason is identity. You show up because of who you are, not because the results are visible yet. Here is the reframe that holds everything together when real pressure arrives. Stop measuring success by whether you performed perfectly or completely. Measure it by whether you showed up at all. A 2-minute version of the habit still casts a vote. A shorter run still counts. 1 paragraph written still counts. Never 0. Always something. Because something compounds across time and 0 never does. Before the final video, do this one thing. Identify the last habit that collapsed on you and trace it back to one of these 3 moments. Was it the missed twice spiral that started a damaging story? Was it the absence of immediate reward, making it feel pointless over time? Was it the plateau that felt indistinguishable from failure? Name it specifically. You cannot fix a collapse point you have never honestly identified. The final video gives you the complete 7-day playbook to put everything we have covered into action starting this week. Subscribe so you do not miss it.